Hello and welcome to RezoCast, episode 45. We're so glad that you are here with us listening tonight, whether you're in the Twitch stream or listening on the podcast. We really appreciate you stopping by. I am Lego, and I've got with me Hove and a special guest this week. We have Wilson. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We were going...
Yo.
Wilson!
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, for
Appreciate
sure.
it. It's always a good time.
We were going to have Mason Sean with us tonight, but Wilson decided to fill in for us last second as Mason Sean had some things going on this week, some personal things to attend to. And so we just got our good brother Wilson in here to come hang out with us, talk some Destiny with us, some D2 with us, some D2 beta with us. We got some new news out. I guess, I just kind of feel like we should start probably with the news that came out right after we did our podcast last week. I don't know how this happened, but
Shouldn't we just see how Wilson's been doing, what he's been up to, what's new with him?
yeah, we could see how I think that's a good thing to ask Hope, because I didn't get to play the beta with Wilson at all.
I did.
And that really bummed me out. Like I feel sad about it, and I want to know what he has been thinking about the beta. Real quick before you do say Wilson, for those who don't know, we've had Wilson on before with our good friend Marcus, and if you want to go back and learn a little bit more about him and his how he got into gaming and stuff like that, and how he knows all of us, there's a great episode with the two of them that is hilarious and awesome. But for now, Wilson, what did you think about the D2 beta?
The D2 beta was awesome. I'm a little Legole sad that I didn't get to play with you.
Legole Dongblade, though.
Right? No doubt. Beta was awesome, man. I mean, I think I had like the same concerns that everybody else did for the most part, but yeah, man, it was a good time. I played the hell out of that beta. A lot of hours into it. Get a little tired of PvP, jump in, do that strike, wander off, explore, It's got me really excited for the game. I can't wait. Definitely going to be jumping into the PC beta as well and see how things differ on that side. See if anything feels different, if there's any changes that they may have made that weren't in the build that we got.
Yeah.
And plus, they said there's like a new... Well, we'll get to that. But, but yeah, man, I'm stoked. I can't wait for the release. It's going to be awesome. It sounds like there's going to be a lot to do. I'm going to be all over the place.
Yeah. Hove, are you going to be jumping on that beta right away as well for the PC?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I pre-ordered it the day. I think it was last week, the day of the podcast. I remembered, like, I saw the announcement, like, that when they announced the dates of the beta. I was like, oh shit, I need to go pre-order that. So I went and pre-ordered it, and I'm ready to go.
Nice.
PC Master Race.
Well, Wilson, real quick, what did you think about like the gameplay, the way that PvP felt in particular? Because I know PvE is getting a lot of changes as far as ammo economy and super regen and stuff like that. They kind of hinted at some of that even in this TWAB this week. But as far as just like overall, it feels it's a Destiny 2. It's not Destiny 1. And what were your takes kind of on the feel of everything?
It felt really good. It felt, I mean, as far as like connections went, I mean, it felt like Destiny 1 on a really good day. Like sometimes you'd catch a guy that like wouldn't take damage here and there, or you'd be like, man, I'm pretty sure I landed that Nightshade burst on him, and he didn't take damage, but it felt fantastic. It felt like a fresh new game. It was nice that some of the ability spam wasn't there. Obviously, I think it's kind of weird everybody getting their super at the end with like 1 minute left. That was a little awkward, but there was one game I almost had my super twice because I was running around picking up orbs.
Yes,
I was so close. But it felt like a fresh change. I dig the 4v4. I just feel bad judging anything at this point because it was one map, a handful of weapons, not all the subclasses, and they had already said that the build we were playing was months old and that a lot of the changes had already been made. So it's really hard to judge. I'm excited to see what it's going to be like on day one, but the Crucible felt really fresh. The strike was PvE, felt the area felt massive, even though I'm sure it was utilizing some of the patrol zones. It felt massive. We wandered into like the Lost Sector area.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so like that stuff was really cool. Seeing little things like when you match the element type to a shielded enemy, when you bring the shield down, it does a little tiny AoE, like little mini firefly
I didn't even
explosion.
notice that.
Yeah, and it makes a really cool noise too, like the audio.
Dude, the audio stuff. Oh my
The audio
gosh.
sounds really good. I liked the sniper. Obviously, the fusion was good in PvP, but the sniper, going back to sound, I liked that it was like a silence shot on it, but it just made it, to me, it just made it feel really weak. I like the punch.
What did you like?
I like the punch of the sniper. You know what I mean? Like you hear it and you feel it, but like I said, we'll just have to see what other guns we get to play with when the game actually comes out, because that was just a small little sample platter.
Yeah, and I did want to point out, I know you know this, but you said you almost feel bad commenting on some of the stuff because it is a beta and stuff's going to change. But I think it's also important to point out that as long as it's done constructively and you do it with the open mind that, hey, this is what I would like to see change, really that's our job, not only as gamers but as whatever small voice we may have in the community to say, this is what I would like better, this is what I think should change, and that's the reason for the beta. So I do think that's important. It's important. It's also important. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely stuff that we've all kind of agreed on needs to be changed, but they've touched on some of it.
That kind of reminds me, I've been meaning to ask you guys, and anybody do you guys or anybody have you guys or anybody posted on BNet's feedback forum after playing the beta?
I'm scared to go on BNet.
BNet's really, it's not as bad of a place as you think it is sometimes. I mean, sometimes it is, but occasionally, I feel like there is good constructive feedback in there, and I feel like we're the ones who could put that good constructive feedback in there. So I just want to challenge people listening and myself at the same time. I feel like I'm the guy who waits until I have it all worded completely perfectly to post it all, let it really sit and digest once I play it, and not jump into something too quickly. But I definitely want to get in there and just kind of post a few of my thoughts, and I feel like those who care about the game, that's the best way to do it. I saw the guy who runs all of the Destiny support stuff, he was just responding to all the big Twitter Destiny names out there, like Triple Rec and other people were posting stuff, and he every time they'd post something, he would comment on it. Hey, did you post in the Bungie forum yet? Did you post in the feedback thing yet? And no one responds to him or says, and some people do put it in there, take the time to write it out. But I would just encourage everyone who's listening, everybody's in chat, and all of us to actually write something up that's meaningful, about how we feel. But I definitely understand Wilson's take on it too, of just kind of trusting them with certain things, and not it was a month-old build, stuff like that.
Yeah, so. It's like a disconnect that I kind of felt, because it's it's been out they've been playing it for a while, and they probably know a lot of the glaring flaws that we saw. But you're right though, I need to make it over to Bungie.net and do my part as a beta player. Just Hove shaking his head, don't go there. You just don't go alone, and you lock your door.
There we go.
Walk away.
That's all.
There we go.
Take the buddy system.
You'll be fine. All right.
Okay.
I just gotta correct Jimmy in chat real quick. It pointed out that I misspelled Twilight Garrison in my own highlight video. Thank you for that, Jimmy.
Rip the dream.
That's what you get for vooping him from across the map.
I'm gonna go down a Garrison squad.
I don't think so. I think he looked for a flaw because he vooped him from so far away and put him in the montage. It's okay.
That brings me to my next point, though. I wanted to ask you, before we jump into news and stuff. Wanted to ask you guys what you're going to be doing, I guess, until either the PC beta hits, or for those of us that aren't on PC, what we're going to be doing with our time until Destiny 2 actually comes out. Because for me, it's just I played a little bit of Destiny the other night, and it was really nice to play the things that I know we're going to be gone and aren't going to be there anymore. And so that's really fun. But my one goal of this time period between now and Destiny 2 is I'm just going to get every video that I can possibly think of that I wanted to make but never had time to do, just focus on that stuff for now. So
you already know my answer.
Is it PUBG? Is that all you're going to be doing the entire time?
Yeah.
Not true. I was just going to say, what are we doing this weekend, Hove?
Playing PUBG.
No, we're playing Trials, remember? Because it's the last weekend.
That's next week.
Yeah.
It's next weekend? What are we doing next week, Hove?
No lifing Trials.
That's right.
Okay. That's good to hear. At least you're going to be doing some trials then. Do you feel the need at all, either of you, to go into like Rumble, since we're not going to have that anymore, or sixes even, or anything like that?
Part of me like thinks about it and says like, man, it would be cool to play it again. But one, I don't think it's so much even that I'm against, not even against Destiny 1, but that I'm done with Destiny 1. But it is the fact that there's nothing new for me. And I do have something that I've been really enjoying, like PUBG, that I just going back to play it because I won't again isn't enough. Like I haven't. I've thought about it, but I don't think I'm going to do it. The only reason I'm going to do trials is because that was something that, I mean, unless I was out of town, I haven't missed trials. Well, up until the last month, in 2 years something. I mean, that's been the best thing in my opinion, even when it was shitty. It was a lot of fun to play with friends, and it was stressful, and it was fun, and that was my favorite thing in Destiny for a long time. So that I want to be there for the end, no matter how bad it is.
That's how I met a lot of my friends, was through trials. I mean, that's how I met you guys.
Yeah, that's true.
I am still after a God roll LDR. I still want to get one.
Oh my gosh!
And then what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna shoot people in the face with it. It's gonna make that that I was talking about. It's got
yeah.
But that's my end game right there. If I can get that last sniper with a good roll, I'll be happy with it. So it means I pretty much just got to jump in and do some PvE stuff, like whether it be bounties. That's pretty much what it is at this point. I've never really been much of a Rumble person.
Okay.
But I do enjoy the high octane, like, I like watching other people play Rumble because they're a lot better at it than me. And like when you know how to move around that map against a lot of other people and stuff, it's really cool to watch. I mean, Lego, you're really good at Rumble, so I mean, you can attest to that. Like, it's a huge rush. I mean, it's you versus everyone, and it's everyone versus everyone, rather. And
I feel like Hove enjoys that a lot too. Like I feel like he's one of the guys like me that, like, if somebody beats you by just a little bit, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do one more game. I'm gonna beat this guy.
Rumble was the one mode that did to me what PUBG does, where it's like if you lose, you're like, oh, I can do better. Like, I got to go one more, and then you win. And you don't, you're like, man, I'm playing really good. I don't want to quit. I'm going to play one more. And then you lose. And you're like, oh, that was really close. I'm going to go one more. And you end up playing Rumble till 4 a.m.
Yes.
When the dice is hot,
Yeah. Which is why I'm so sad that it's going to be gone. And so I went and played it like I think it was last night or 2 nights ago. I was like, I'm just going to get on and play Rumble for a second while this video is, processing, whatever. And I ended up playing so many games in a row because especially when the guy in the lead who's like beating you by just a little bit is like teabagging you and throwing stickies the whole time. You're like, I'm gonna freaking beat this guy, And so I just get stuck on it. I love it, and I'm really sad it's not gonna be there right at the beginning of D2. I hope they put it in at some point.
I hope they put it in.
It's kind of like you said, Wilson, where it's like you have to trust them that the new gameplay is like built a certain way, and this is gonna be really fun for us. But while it'll be fun for a while, I really hope they build in that Rumble, like something that
I agree
will be good for solo players in PvP.
I feel like that's something that I'll have to put in my feedback on BNet, but I'm really surprised that they don't have it, because I feel like on that map that we played on Control on, I feel like it'd play really well. Like, I don't know, like you could even just have like a 4-man Rumble if you wanted to. Like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like it would still play really well. Like, they got to put it in at some point in time. It's a like a essential game mode, in my opinion.
For like most FPS.
Yeah, I don't even play it that much, and I realize that it's huge. I mean, what, Halo, you had Lone Wolf, and everything else has some sort of solo category.
I like, for anybody who listened last week, or even if you didn't, Ramblin's thought that that Cold Heart is going to be unlocked for everybody come December 5th, which is a Tuesday, which everyone seems to think is going to be the first DLC, which makes a lot of sense time-wise and Tuesday. But he also, you remember Lego, were you here last week? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, all these days blend together. It's just PUBG and work back and forth.
Oh my gosh.
Chicken dinner and sleep.
That not only would it be the DLC, but it would be an Osiris PvP-focused DLC where they will also bring private matches back.
Do we know that the first one's going to be Osiris?
It's that symbol. It's the Eye of Osiris.
but that's for sure going to be the first expansion. That's not the Warmind one that they had.
I'm pretty sure they've showed it.
Pretty sure, yeah. The one thing about that though is that's just private matches, and even if I'm with you, that doesn't really mean Rumble,
If they, I mean, I feel like if they add that game mode to private matches, they'd have to add it to the regular game mode too, or whatever.
Which they could do. So
they could, or allow us to make 4 different teams or something like that, and just put everyone on a different team. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Rumble. If it is in custom matches, they could do some sort of a temporary workaround, so we can at least get it. Because I miss our No Land Fusion.
I know
battles that we'll have. We'll have to find a different primary. Well, no,
that's how I started my that's how I started my Rumble matches the other night. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna run in No Land Fusion, even though nobody else is doing it. I'm gonna do it because that's what I'm gonna miss from D1.
You're a podcast boss.
He is. Ghost of Starman in chat said they showed it with Roman numerals. Which now he mentions that it was a 1 and a 2, one DLC 1, DLC 2.
Sounds familiar.
I knew there was something once you mentioned it, I was second guessing myself. Why did I think that was going to be first? Would it?
Good at that.
Yeah.
Of doubt.
Yeah, you are. You're. I don't know. Speaking of some PvP stuff, though, did you see some of the stuff that they interviewed Lars Bakken that he said?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. And before we get there,
I'm learning.
Before we get there, I just want to we're going to get there. I just want to say real quick, we said on our Twitter we have an announcement, to make this podcast, and that will be at the end of the podcast. We'll talk about it. It's some good stuff. We're excited about it. But just wanted to let everybody know that way we just don't throw it in there, or anything like that.
Thought you were going to find out now. You're wrong.
Yeah, you thought, but you're wrong.
Such a tease.
Hove, go ahead. Let's jump into that. What did you find interesting from that IGN article with Lars?
I don't remember the exact. I don't have the whole. No, one of them was with Lars specifically.
Okay.
Because it was about Crucible, and they were asking him about. I'm just going to paraphrase most of it about competitive. A move into competitive, and that everything seems to be built to competitive. And his answer was pretty much, "We've put the things in there that we've put in there. They're for balance. Yada yada yada. We're going to let it go where the community takes it. If that's where they want to take it, blah, blah, blah."
Yep.
Which, to me, I mean, I know they're secretive and they don't say anything, but they know that the community has wanted to move to competitive. So, I mean, to me, that's an answer what do you think? Him saying, we put this in there, we're going to go where you guys want to go. 2 and 2 equals 4.
I'm just so surprised, Imtash put out a tweet about it just the other day. He's like, this is what they said, but, we can't do that without private, we need private matches to do this, for the community.
You definitely do.
And so it's kind of hey, go do it, but your hands are tied behind your back. And we can do it still, we can make it happen, but it's just so difficult. Why did they make it so difficult? And it's probably a resource thing. If it's anything like D1, they somebody did an interview somewhere where they mentioned it was a resource thing, getting it into D1 later on.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's probably the same thing, but we'll be so busy at the beginning doing so much other stuff that if it comes out that soon after, at that first Osiris DLC, I think that will be fine, and everybody's going to jump strong into it, be ready, and kind of know how to play. Because somebody brought up a while ago that you can't just throw people into tournaments immediately in a game no one's ever played. Nobody has any of the good weapons. Somebody's going to have some god weapon that nobody else has. How do you even know the rules? You don't know what's good and bad yet.
Exactly.
Balancing. There could be stuff that's ridiculously overpowered that they haven't had a chance to get community feedback on. So, I mean, cover your ears, Lego, but fusions might need a little bit of a drawback.
I'm good with it, man. I
know you. I instantly, the first time I shot that thing and mapped somebody, I was like, Lego is gonna love this.
And immediately, I was in my room, states away from you, and I was like, Wilson. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
I feel a presence.
Couple points with that. One, that kind of goes back to what I was saying that Ramblin brought up, and that was part of his reasoning for thinking that is letting kind of a meta develop, balancing things, seeing how the game plays for a few months before you bring something like that out. that's kind of point one. Two was what you said, Wilson. Fusions are definitely a little bit ridiculous right now. But in all honesty, I think they're closer to what I would like power weapons to be than the other ones. I'd rather see them brought down a tiny bit and the other ones brought up.
Well, I would rather just see other ones brought up. Here's my problem though. How do you bring snipers up without giving them no flinch and making them a one-shot body shot weapon?
Get rid of the flinch. I'm okay with that. I mean, do you think year one snipers would be that bad when you're getting 4 rounds now, once a game, twice a game, and you're going to lose?
No, and I mean, if I keep getting mapped by that fusion the way that I have been, I wouldn't be that bad. I wouldn't feel that bad about not flinching a guy. I mean, you're probably right. Like, I just know that like a lot of people that flinch is like a super touchy subject, and I love to snipe, dude. Like,
yeah,
both of us do. I felt like all the power weapons were unnerfed versions of themselves except the sniper rifle.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I felt. Like, again, other archetypes, I don't know. Maybe there is one that you can do the classic body shot, clean someone up with a primary, you know what I mean? Like, very quickly. You know, maybe there is like a body shot, 1 to the head with a hand cannon sniper out there somewhere, which would help. It's like I said, I feel bad about, like, because I want to get my hands on other snipers. Like, I wish they would have gave us just a fucking beast of a sniper instead of that Red Ryder BB gun.
Well, here's the thing for me. Like, I'm kind of with you, Hove. Like, I feel like it doesn't really need the flinch on it because of, you know, the way that how good team fires are and that kind of stuff. It's like, I feel like, and how slow our movement is, stuff like that. Like, I just feel like, you know, that in some ways it makes it easier to snipe, and in other ways it makes it harder to like get in position and snap in and get the headshot really fast and all that stuff. But in another way, though, I am losing track of what I'm talking about. I just felt like the reason why I think that fusions could use like a little bit less than what they are, and I'm surprised with how many people who are even really good at fusions are saying no, leave them where they are, because to me, if you're able to use them so effectively without any skill, like that to me takes away the love of the weapon. It's like you want to be able to, like, when you get that sniper headshot, you're like, yes, like you just got 2 kills with sniper headshots, you know, and I want to be able to do the same thing with the fusion rifle. Yeah, if you're sticking it in their belly and you charged it, it should kill them, you know, or even a little bit further than that. But if it's like a long range VOOP and you're getting it every time, like, I feel like it should just take some more recoil control or something, you know. And we're basing this off of one gun, like, exactly. It's kind of ridiculous.
That's what I was gonna say. If we're gonna assume that to some point that charge rate and impact are gonna be counterbalanced with like range, you know, like just taking that one into thinking of that, I would be okay with the range on it, assuming that's like the longer range type of fusion rifle. Just increase the charge time.
Or recoil.
I would think charge time, though, because, I mean, like I said, I'm still comparing to Destiny 1 all the time.
Yeah.
But the whole point of like a slow charging one was that you can do it from a little further away. A faster charging one is a little bit more of a counter to a shotgun because you're going to play up close with it.
Yeah, and also Jaden in chat is saying the Voopers he talked to said it needed a nerf, so that's interesting for me to hear. Because all the ones that I talked to that I knew were really good, they were all like, no, they feel great, don't do anything. So it's good to hear some different opinions are floating around out there.
Real quick, going back to the sniper thing, real quick, like you were talking about, you want it to feel satisfying, like when you get a snipe or whatever. During the sniper meta, like as much as I love to snipe, there was definitely a few moments where I was like, I should not have gotten that snipe, and it took away the charm, that little dopamine drip that you get when you get a really cool kill, you know what I mean? And it makes you feel good, you know? It kind of took away from that a little bit. Like now, like I should know that I have to like disengage if I'm getting shot and scoping.
Yeah.
I guess it's just, we'll just have to wait and see other archetypes. Cause I mean, again, literally you can kill someone with a sniper across the map from as long as you got a shot on them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the unlimited range at that point. So
yeah, it's true. It is an interesting dilemma. I think a big fix, like you said, Wilson, was, you know, if you had one that was like, a lower scope kind of thing that was easier to snap in and out of maybe, but still had the flinch, that would be a trade-off. I think I would probably rather see first before just taking off the flinch would be like low zoom, very snappy scope kind of thing. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah, I think just in general across the board, knowing the history of Bungie balancing weapons in Destiny, that usually, and this isn't like a criticism, this is for the most part a fact, they've looked to nerfs first, right? Yeah. I would rather, with power ammo supposed to be power ammo and it being so limited, I would rather, if they err on one side or the other, I would rather they be too strong than not worth using.
I agree. I would concur with that.
Because it is limited now, and you lose it when you die, and you're the only one with it on your team, theoretically. That's maybe true. 2. I'd rather they be too strong, and you get a couple free kills, than nobody fights over power ammo. Then what's the point? If they're no good, nobody's going to go get it. It's one less thing you have to worry about. It takes out a lot of strategy. So I'd rather, like I said, knowing how extreme they've done things, I would rather them balance to the fusions than balance down.
Yeah.
Right now, anyway, on that build, as we've said a million times.
Was there anything else in that article of note? I have a lot of notes from the Luke Smith one because we didn't get to that one on our last episode. I think it aired, then it went live on Friday, I think, the day after the podcast.
That was really the only thing that really stuck out to me that I wanted to bring up.
I thought that was the main thing. Yeah, so there's a few things, and some of this is more PvE related from the Luke Smith one, which is one of the ones Luke's, you gotta love Luke Smith. His answers are just so blunt.
His honesty, though, I appreciate that.
It's true. True. So his first one that I took real notice to was, will characters remain mute throughout Destiny 2? And he said, yep. Which is awesome. Not that they're mute for a lot of people, but just his answer, just the bluntness,
Can I give my really strong opinion on that?
Yes, because I'm sure we have differing opinions.
I couldn't care any less.
Oh, we don't have differing opinions. Wow.
I don't care. Who cares?
I like it.
I think Wilson,
I get immersed, man. I've gotten so into games that I have verbally spoken back to a character and been like, shit, you're
I feel like you do that a lot.
I do. All right.
And I feel like you do that. You yell. One of the things Wilson yells to every character in every game, whether there's talking in the game or not, is "Welcome to Earth."
Are you quoting Will Smith in that? Or
yes. Just Earth. It feels it's mostly a PUBG thing when you shotgun someone when you're third personing around the corner and they're just running at you. And they...
just before this, Wilson and I were playing, and I had a moment where he was spectating me because he had died. It just happened. That's not I'm not trying to give him shit, even though I was alive and he was dead. And these two guys came around the corner and I shotgunned both of them, and Wilson was completely silent, and I was like, what the fuck, Wilson? And all of a sudden you hear all this fumbling, and he unmutes his mic. He's like, I've been yelling welcome to Earth for 3 minutes. I didn't know I was muted.
I was going off. Sorry. Sidetrack there.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm trying to think that, so for me, it very much is I am into this character and I don't really need the words that they say. And I think what Bungie is intending to do is happening to me. We want you to be the character, and that's how I feel about mine. Is and maybe that'll change, because I keep their helmet on all the time and stuff like that, just because I envision that person as me, not as what's even underneath, which I know that's very different than the way a lot of people play Destiny. And you can see just on Reddit or anywhere the number of complaints and uproar, even on Twitter, about, I can't believe we're not going to have any narration from our characters. And there are games for that. Just for me, Destiny isn't one of those games. It's interesting y'all feel the same way.
I kind of like it. I would I'm not heartbroken about it, but it would be cool if there were moments where they knew that your character would react the same to you. So in the beta where you're flying back to the tower, it would be cool to have some sort of what the hell dialogue from your character or something, because that was my reaction. Or just just simple stuff, you know what I mean? That they would know that you would react to, whether that be surprise, anger, hate, sadness, you know what I mean? Like just something, like, because I can tell you right now, like when he's like, your ghost tells you to fly faster and you get to the city and you see it for the first time, like, dude, I got goosebumps and I was like, holy shit, like my character acted like he could care less, like, but it is what it is. I'm used to silent protagonists. I played a lot of RPGs growing up, so.
Yeah, it is. You bring up a good point. Like, I do feel like I would feel a lot of emotional impact with it. The problem is that, everybody else hears that same voice, and I don't know, it would just be weird to hear the same voice every time when they're supposed to be different characters.
Good point.
The only thing I think that I can maybe see changing my mind and making me be a little not even upset, just sad that they don't talk, is just the fact that with how much more story and cutscenes and supposed interaction there's going to be in Destiny 2, it may get to the point where I'm kind of like, well, come on, man, like, say something. There weren't as many times in Destiny 1 where there were back and forth between characters. A lot of times it was just your ghost talking to you, telling you what was going on. There were a few times your ghost talked to other people and yada, 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 but a lot of time it was just your ghost telling you things and kind of narrating. If there's so much more back and forth in story, I still don't think that it's going to upset me one way or another, but I could possibly see it get to the point where you're kind of like, all right, there's all these characters around talking, why are we not saying anything? Yeah. But it's still not going to alter any. I'm not going to judge the game any differently on it. I don't think it's that big of a deal to me.
And bottom line, we'll really just need to wait and play the story and then come back and give like how we feel about it, because we have only played the first mission and that's it.
Do you know what I want?
What do you want, Hove?
I want one of those. What's that thing? I'm sure they still have something now, but where you could like type and it would talk for you and you could pick the voices. Like
speak and spell?
Sure, something like that. We should be able to just. They should have times where we can just type in whatever we want. And it'll just say it in these ridiculous voices. They don't have to be good voices. They can be the terrible robotic like answering machine voices. But tell me that would be amazing.
Like Stephen Hawking, like
whatever, anything.
That's your movie of the week, D2 movie of the week emblem right there, Hove. Is you narrating for your guardian like throughout the entire story of D2.
And speak and spell.
Speak and spell.
I'll check like the local Salvation Army and see if there's one in the back or something for you, and I'll send it to you. Oh my gosh!
Just use the Mac like auto one that sounds terrible.
I'd have to have a stupid Apple product to use that.
Okay. Okay. Well, one thing that I do hate other than Hove right now is that Luke Smith said to the question about multi-passenger vehicles, he said there will be none, which I was really bummed about. I was like, I mean, it's not like game breaking. It's nothing that's, going to make me super upset. But that was something that I was like, could there be a chance of that happening? Especially when I saw a tank like in the preview trailer for D2. I was like, oh, what if like, one person drives it and one person shoots it or something like that. I don't know. It's all about teamwork. This entire game is, and to have teamwork in a vehicle would be awesome, especially since when you scroll down on your page in the beta, it said vehicle and not Sparrow. And I was like, what does it mean?
I did too.
Luke Smith just took my tinfoil hat and wadded it up and threw it in the trash. And that kind of made me sad.
Pretty much. I think that was
over pizza in it.
I think that was the saddest thing that I took away from that as well, was the vehicle slot thing. I was like, oh, okay, well, there's probably not going to be multi-passenger, obviously there's not going to be multi-passenger vehicles, or, is there not going to be other types? Was that just a placeholder name in the beta? Will it say Sparrows during the full release? I feel you definitely make some valid points. Like that was a really good point about it being focused more on teamwork and being able to do teamwork from a vehicle, one person drive, one person on a gun. I guess I'm okay with it not having multi-passenger, because if anyone's seen me either stream or watched Hove stream of me driving in PUBG, I get us killed all the time. So there's no chance that Hove's going to hop on the back of mine.
Well,
double XL Sparrow for 2.
How much, Hove?
So much.
You got to ride in the back though, hands on the hips.
Yeah, man.
Hove, did you have any feelings about that?
No.
Not riding with Wilson, but cause I know you have feelings about that, but about multi-passenger vehicles.
No, not really, to be honest.
Yeah, he never played Halo. He doesn't know.
No, I have played Halo. I don't know. if anyone hasn't noticed, I'm fairly like, I'll complain about things, but it's more just kind of like, oh, this would be neat. I'm really like pretty easy to please. Like whatever's in the game, I'm just gonna make the. And it's not even a conscious decision. It's just kind of like, this is what I have. Let's have fun. Do I need this? No, I like it the way it is. Would it be kind of neat? Yeah, maybe, but like I don't care. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That's not something that, you know, if it came to the game, I'd be like, this is the best fucking thing ever. Like, how did I live without it? But like
strike scoring.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, actually. But no, to be fair, I still only did strikes when I could beat up on Triton.
Or needed an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm being told quickly, though, that Wilson drives like a grandpa in real life, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing we don't have multi-passenger vehicles in game.
Look at his face.
You don't want to get pulled over looking like me. That's all I'm going to say. I'm done.
So the last thing in this interview that really stuck out to me was he was asked a question about the time between launch and the raid, and just to me, the way that everybody was talking about it, everybody was like, oh, they're saying it's going to come a week after release, and I kept hearing a week over and over again, but I haven't found that confirmed anywhere. And then he said it's Luke Smith's response was, it's IGN first, not IGN everything. So he didn't give a reveal date or anything. So we still don't know like how long it's going to be unless y'all have seen that information somewhere else.
Can I ask you guys this? Because I haven't. Yeah, me and Hove are shaking our heads. We haven't seen anything. When do you guys hope it'll launch? How much time do you guys want?
Realistically, based on what we've seen in the past, or if I could just make it up on my own?
Both.
Yes.
Realistically, based on when past raids have come out, I'm hoping it's at least the next Friday. I'm assuming it's going to come out on a Friday. I'm hoping it's at least 10 days. Realistically, if I could just say whatever and not base it on past, experiences, 3 weeks, a month.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to.
But there's no way in hell it's going to be that long.
Yeah, I know.
I'm on board with the 10-day thing. That was exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that was like, here's the thing too. Like you can't only you can't launch it too soon. And then what day of the week do you launch on? So that's why I agree with it has to be on a Friday, like a day that it's easier to get a Friday off than it is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
For some people. I guess it depends on what you do or what your schedule is to begin with. But realistically, I think it would be easier to get a Friday off than a random Tuesday or something. So I would like it to be a month because the way I would say I would like 10 days to a month. I just really hope they don't do it 3 or 4 days after launch.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do it that quick. And because Vaulted Glass took a little bit too. It wasn't that long.
But they've gotten consistently quicker. Now, the thing that gives me hope, though, is those were all smaller expansions with just a smaller light increase, whereas this is a brand new game and a much bit more content, supposedly. Bigger increases, more leveling. So, I mean, to really get there, you're going to either have to, if they did it in the 3 days, it's going to be one of two things. You're a normal player and you're not going to be able to do it, or you're going to have to play for that entire 3 days like a streamer or someone who covers the game or whatever it may be. And then, World's First will be fun, but it doesn't give everybody the chance to do it first. Not to be first, but like to do it when it first comes out, because not everyone will be able to do all that in 3 days.
Yeah, and not only that, but it creates a lot of problems. Like as far as, because I remember for Taken King, I wanted to run with the Rezo squad like right from the get-go, and I was just stuck in this room for a few days just trying to grind that light level, and I remember there was that glitch with the 3 of coins where you just popped it on certain bosses to get the gear, and people are just going to do whatever it takes to get that light level and just destroy the fun of the game, and there's going to be a select people group doing that, but I want it to be fun for everyone. I don't want for streamers' lives to be them just sitting there grinding away like at one single boss instead of just playing the game, which hopefully they've made a variety of ways to get the gear that you want to gear, and I feel like they have learned a lot from all of these things that have happened in the past. But even still, it just creates that, you know, way of playing that isn't as fun unless you've like already played through the game, you know, once at least. You don't want to do that speed play through on a game like this,
on a brand new game, right?
Yeah.
And I just want to pull a couple things out of chat real quick that I thought were interesting. Jimmy Pike said it will prevent most people playing blind if it's that quick, being the 3 days. And he said, I haven't done a blind raid yet. I really hope it's longer than 3 days so I have an opportunity this time. And I completely agree with that. That's kind of what I was saying. And I will also say, Jimmy, I've done one. Wrath of the Machine was the only one I did blind, and it was so much fun. It's so much better that way.
I got the pleasure of, I've done them all blind.
Really?
And Jimmy, being a fellow clanmate, we got you, buddy. I mean, we've got enough members in Tower Life going into D2 that...
I'll play with you too, Jimmy.
We'll make sure, we'll make sure. Let me ask you guys this. How do you guys feel about PC players potentially missing out on...
That's another thing. I don't think they're going to.
Let go your mic.
It's scratchy.
Yeah, it does that once in a while. I mean, they've already kind of said flat out when that first was brought up that unfortunately the way it was going to have to be is the raid was going to be out before PC came out. And they knew that, and they were unhappy about it, and they were going to work as hard as they could to catch them back up. But the first raid, I mean, it sucks.
It does suck. Like, I get it. It's coming out. It's not a port. It's its own game, so it's going to take a little bit more time to develop. And who knows, something could go catastrophically wrong during the beta. I mean, you never know. I got faith in them. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a solid build from what I've heard from friends at the Destiny, the DRE, and the Destiny Reveal event. They said it played really good. So I'm excited to see what happens, but I feel for them. It's going to kind of suck because a lot of the stuff's going to be exposed. A lot of the secrets,
all of it,
are going to be exposed. But they will be on board, on track, getting the content as soon as we do, as soon as the first expansion drops. Which
we hope. They said as soon as possible.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope that they can get caught up and they can get content released on the same day that we have, because I don't want anything to get spoiled for them. There's a lot of primary PC players who haven't played D1 that are coming over, and I want it to be as magical as possible for everyone. You know what I mean? I don't want someone to be turned off because console players are getting all the content, you know, weeks earlier. But I mean, it is what it is.
I really don't think that they're going to do that. Like, I don't think that they're going to release it before the PC crowd, because they're very much like everybody.
They said they were.
They said they were?
A while ago, Luke Smith flat out said, like, unfortunately, that's the reality of it.
The DLCs, not the raid.
DLCs?
The DLCs. I'm saying, like, once the first DLC comes out, they'll be back on track with getting content at the same time as us. Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully the DLCs, they'd have to, because that would turn a lot of people off. But sucks they're not getting the raid right away, but it's still going to be fun. I'll still be doing it on PC when it drops. Like,
yeah, I'm sure.
Do you think it'll be ready right away on PC, or do you think they'll make them wait like another however long we had to wait? Do you think it'll just?
I would hope they have to make them wait too, just for the sake of being geared up and everyone being able to go in around the same time and not feeling this like pressure to play it constantly.
Yeah,
dang man, that's gonna be rough for PC players. It's a weird situation to be in, because you want. Like, they're doing it for PC players. Like, they want the system to run perfectly for everybody, but it's at the lack of going into a raid like that. That's tough.
The other thing, quickly out of chat, talking about the raid, I thought this was kind of interesting. I don't think it would work, but I still wanted to bring it up. Jayden said, unpopular opinion. It was when we were talking about when we want the raid to come out. I want the raid to come out in phases. After 3 weeks or so, the first section comes out, and each week after, another raid portion comes out. Now, while I think that would be cool as far as something different and stretching it out and letting people level, I don't think I would want to see that at all. Like, I think I am against that, because it takes away some of the kind of magic of going through the raid. It just turns it into like a couple big strike type of things. Do you know what I mean? The idea behind it, I think, is good. But the raid is the raid, man. Like,
I agree.
That's Destiny.
I feel like that idea would be best implemented with something else, maybe not quite the raid, because I can tell you right now, like when you get into the raid for the first time and you complete that first phase to go on to the next, it's intoxicating. You want more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, we came together as a group of 6 and accomplished the same goal, and we're moving on to the next one, even if we got to beat our head against the wall for however long to figure it out. You know, it's an addicting feeling when you're rolling through the raid and you're picking up loot, especially for the first time. You're like, no, what is this gun? You know what I mean? Like it's an awesome feeling.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and you go ahead. Oh, mine is slightly unrelated.
I was just gonna say a quick question. I don't know that I really have an answer, a thought on this, but do you think this raid is gonna be more? I don't even know how to put it. More gunplay type oriented or more mechanic oriented?
That's perfect. I thought you worded that perfectly. Is it going to be more like Vault of Glass, or is it going to be more like King's Fall, or is it going to be somewhere in the middle?
I was going to say
Wrath?
I would call Vault of Glass and Wrath both kind of in the middle. I would say Vault a little bit more. I would say King's Fall's mechanic driven. Crota is very much gunplay running around driven. I would say Vault and Wrath are both in the middle, but I would put Vault closer to King's Fall and I would put Wrath closer to Crota. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. I think I would, for the most part, agree with that. That's a good question. I mean, I feel like they're going to go with the Wrath of the Machine Vogue-esque thing, like, because I think that's what they got their best feedback from.
I think it's the best too.
I love Crota. I loved King's Fall, like when it first came out, like it was awesome. And then
it became tedious.
Once you were 400, you're like, you guys wanted to vote like an hour and a half to go raid, you know, like so I hope it's somewhere in the middle, but to be honest, dude, I hope it's lengthy. Hope it's girthy with content.
I hope that it's like, you know, like Wrath and like Vogue, in that there's a lot of space there's a lot of things to look at and explore, just a lot of things to take in. But I hope that they do implement basically like the redesigned Crota's raid, like what Crota's raid was supposed to feel like. Basically, like it feels like the redone Crota's raid was everything that the first Crota raid was supposed to be, and I really like the redone version of it, because running through the light, trying to get to all the different light lanterns, like at the beginning, that running maze is just so good.
That's my favorite encounter in all the raids.
It's so good, yeah. And if I think we need moments like that mixed into VOG, because in VOG you had a moment like that, but it was with the Gorgons, and that was like the opposite. It was like really slow pace, you know, whereas the lamp maze was just so fast and so like crazy, and it was really fun to watch your teammates, you know. So I hope they kind of implement a little bit of everything. There's a lot to love in the Destiny raids, I think.
I like a nice lull after an intense part of the raid, so you guys, you're moving around. Like I felt like King's Fall, that's one thing that King's Fall did really well, was the lull in between intense encounters. You know, you guys are walking out of that you're walking out of that encounter high-fiving, going, oh, that was awesome, did you see how close he was to wiping us? You know what I mean? Like he was almost enraged. You know, you guys are laughing about it, you're talking about your loot, and then bam, somebody gets hit by a dick wall.
No, so good.
You know, I feel like that stuff's really important. I want more trolley stuff.
Yes,
like that you can make fun of your friends. That like the first time you come up to a raid and there's a platform, and as soon as you're jumping towards it, it goes away or something.
I love it.
You know, I want stuff like that.
I think my biggest issue with King's Fall was first time through. I think the first time through, everybody kind of was like, "This is great. This might be better than Vault of Glass," because it was so intricate and it was so cool and there was so much stuff in it. But the biggest problem with it, in my opinion, was there was no way to, not necessarily get better at it, but there was no way to make it easier to get it through it faster, especially Oryx for the most part. You know, you still had to do 16 bombs. No matter how good you were at it, no matter how strong your Guardian was, it didn't matter, you know, how much damage you could do, because, you know, it was all the mechanics. The mechanics dictated everything. So that raid took forever, again, specifically Oryx, because it was so mechanic driven. There was never a way to improve, you know, your times. And not that it's a timed thing, but, you know, like you said, King's Fall was a big chunk of time. Even now, it's going to take you a good amount of time.
Still does. Like, I like puzzles, but like I don't want to bust out my fucking secret decoder ring for everything and try to figure it out. Sometimes I want a clear path of things that need to be done and just throw a bunch of shit in my way to make it a little bit more difficult from time to time. Like, that's kind of like the whole, like, I'm starting to be with you guys. I think the lamp phase of Crota.
It was so much fun. It still is.
Someone falls in the hole, you know, you laugh at them and keep running, you know what I mean? And then when you get to the edge and build a bridge, there's two people left. You're like, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up, you know. And the bridge, I do like the frantic stuff. Yeah, that's cool.
And there's always a curse throw like right around the corner from wherever one guy's running, you know, and just it's just right there.
That's me. That's my bit.
I'm definitely with you too, Wilson, on the whole decoder ring and being a little bit crazy and everything. But I think you'll probably kind of agree with me on this. I'm with you kind of halfway, because as far as the actual just completing the raid, yeah, I don't want to have to do that stuff every time because there's no way to make it faster. It takes forever. But I like it as kind of an ancillary thing or an addition to the raid, like the Outbreak Prime thing. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
but you didn't need it to do the raid. You know, you can still go through the raid faster.
Yeah, I Jaden actually brought that up, said you don't want like more Outbreak Prime. I don't mind that. I've definitely come to realize that there's some things that I'm not smart enough to solve, like Outbreak Prime. Luckily, the rest of the community can solve. I'm okay with that kind of stuff. As far as completing the raid, not opting in to find something or a challenge. I don't want, like I said, I don't want to have to, you know, bust out the secret decoder ring and figure out what's going on. And
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I do like that the Outbreak Prime was dope.
What I was thinking about all of that was, what if, you know, tie in everything else that we've heard about PvE so far. We've got the lost sectors. What if there's lost sectors in the raid that are optional? You don't have to go do them, but you find some secret door and you're like, what is this? And it's a whole nother area that you don't have to do when you go through the raid, but you can do.
I just hope
I like that.
They have some of those, and it'd be even cooler if they had like varying difficulty ones. Like some you could just run in like, oh, hey, this is cool, I'm going to go do it. And some where, you know, maybe the three of us just sit there on Twitch and YouTube and watch Dado and the rest of math class figure it out. But it was still, you know, kind of like when we talked about the Wolves Are Prowling thing with the glitched keys, the glitched chests being one of the things that really brought the community together in a way we hadn't seen before. I think that did too. Even if it was outside of the game some. You saw Twitter blowing up and all these people figuring things out, and this person had this piece and this person had this piece. And as long as it's something that, like I said, is ancillary, opt-in, whatever, it's not a thing that you have to do to complete the raid, I think something like that is great.
Yeah.
Dude, what if there was a lost sector where when you went into it, there was like a puzzle in there, but you needed more people to solve it, and it was like a public space that it would match make you basically kind of the way what was the Forge you know what I'm talking about, the
Archon's Forge?
Archon's Forge, yeah. So in Archon's Forge, it randomly matched you with different people. And what if it matched your fire team of 6 doing the raid with some other fire team, and there were like 12 people that had to figure out how to work together? Kind of like the beginning
of the vault, where people could show up.
Yes, where people could show up like that, except it'd be in a lost sector in the raid or something.
That would be cool. The only way that like people to stumble across it, it would have to be at the beginning of the raid. But what if, like, kind of playing off what you were saying? Now, hold on, hear me out. What if, like, you know, if it was a Vex raid or something like that? Like, we're not, probably it won't be a Vex raid, we don't know. But let's just say it was, and you did some, you know, secret decoder ring shit inside the raid, and it opened up a portal for a fire team to come in. You know, so like for instance, like how you get from Mars to the Black Garden, one of those portals. So a team of 6 would have to be either randomly in the area, or maybe that's how they'd match make people with you to make it like they can't. Because I don't know, like it would kind of break the immersion for me if people were just like spawning in. You know what I mean?
It would only randomly one area, yeah. Like maybe one of those lull sections you were talking about.
If there was like some lore behind it, like you, like I said, like you had to like do something that like allowed them to come in, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah,
like,
I guess you're right, because when you really think about it, it's kind of like also Lego's Frozen and it looks awesome. No, you're right. Now that I really think about it, because the raid is supposed to be that you're raiding something, you're going after something, you're this fire team of 6 going to complete a mission. So if other people showed up, yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Totally, yeah. I mean, like either way would probably work, but I'm digging with the whole Lego's idea of Lost Sector being just something that is discoverable within the raid that maybe not everybody knew about. I hope they're vast and open and you can explore them as much as it felt like you could. Maybe not as much as that strike, but there was like, I was constantly looking out going, I could go over there, I could go over here and like check stuff out. Maybe they just throw a little hidden chest in there somewhere with an engram. Maybe there's hidden chests all over the place that spawn randomly. Just shit that gets you going in there and gets your team looking around and trying to discover things. And I think it's brilliant. Or tease us that there's a chest in there and don't tell us if there is or isn't for years.
Years.
It always worked.
Lego, is it just your video frozen? No.
No, I just see his icon now.
Seems that Lego lay flashed out of here.
Lego lay sad. Where did you go?
Well, I guess we can get into a couple questions from Twitter. I mean, originally, as you guys may have known if you follow us on Twitter, the original plan was we were going to have Mesa Sean on. So some of the questions are directed towards Mesa Sean. We will, obviously skip those. But there were a couple questions that were just in general. So we'll touch on those real quick. Here's one from Robert Ike. Do you think Bungie will implement comparing same weapon types between kinetic and elementals in D2? And I already answered this on Twitter. I said, God, I hope so.
Yeah, you have to. I feel like you'd have to. How would you? I guess you'd have to highlight it and then R2 over your primary, or if there's a way to like highlight the weapon so that you could compare the two different.
Yeah,
I don't know
either.
Yeah, but there needs to be a way. I would agree
completely.
Especially if the mod slot is going to be what defines it as an elemental, right? So it would really suck to have to like pull the mod out and then equip it as a primary and then compare the two. So yeah, I don't know. I hope so too. I guess to agree with you.
That was something I said during the beta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally. I didn't even think of that.
Well, Lego's back, but he's not there.
I didn't even think of that though. So that's a pretty good question, actually. Kudos.
Lego's DMing me out saying my internet went out trying to jump back on, but I'm now looking at his camera with him not sitting. There he is. Hi, Lego, you're back.
Lego lay live.
Lego lay back.
Lego lay back.
Lego lay back.
We kind of moved on. Is there anything you want to finish on the raid? We kind of moved on to some Twitter questions while you were gone.
No. I'm done with all the raid talk. The only question that I had for you guys is we were talking about just how much we don't have how much we don't know right now as far as the Lost Sector stuff. And I was just wondering how much of the Lost Sector stuff are you guys going to be looking at, like are going to be looking at YouTube videos and stuff online to like find stuff out, or how much are you going to go in blind and not look at anything and just explore the map, and really take your time with it?
I think for me anyway, I think it's a fine line, because I think ideally I would like to play through everything, even if it's in sections. Maybe I play through the first, planet or moon or whatever, see what I find, and then go back and see what I missed, or if it's the whole story. But, as someone, we're on a podcast right now. I want to be able to talk about the stuff that's going on in the community. If something happens and I'm, purposely ignoring Twitter and YouTube, and maybe I didn't have time to search for it and I didn't find it, and then we're missing out on all the stuff that's going on. So yeah, maybe I'll just play it all day, every day until I find everything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's a fine line for us, I feel like.
It's tough. Yeah. How about you, Wilson?
Day one, I'm going to be probably avoiding a lot of Twitch and YouTube. Day one for sure, at least until I get through the story. The main story I want to experience for myself. That was one of my favorite moments of Destiny of all time, was when Rise of Iron came out, and me and Sam just hopped in a party with the two of us, went through the story. We got super immersed. We're like, oh, goosebumps, during all the cutscenes and stuff. Yeah. So I don't want that stuff spoiled for me or to be sidetracked by other cutscenes that are going on or that I'm watching. But when it gets down to main story is done and now it's get out there and do Lost Sectors and get out there and do strikes or what was Flashpoints?
Yeah, Flashpoint
was another one. I can't wait, dude. I'm gonna be soaking up so much information on YouTube and Twitch. I want all the loot. I want to know where I can get that gun. I want to know where I can get that piece of armor, and I'm gonna grind the hell out of it.
See, it's tough for me because I have that itch that you have where I'm like, yes, I want to look at all the YouTube videos, you know, because it's so fun to like plan out your next Destiny night and be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm going after go to this loot, you know. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, what if I went in blind, like I went in blind with the raid, and I just wander around the map and I just find this lost sector like on my own, like that'd be so rewarding. And it's like, can I wait? I don't know.
It's very special, and granted, it's not like on the level of Lost Sector, but when Taken King dropped, and I mean, I woke up as soon as it dropped, and then I didn't go to bed for at least another 24 hours. And I woke up the next day, and a couple of my guys had Boolean Gemini, and I'm like, where did you get that? I want that. And you know, like there is a charm to let me show you where I got it, and let me help you. And that stuff is a lot of fun. It is a fine line, but I know eventually my want and need for sick loot is just going to take over, and I'm just going to want it all, especially like that PlayStation exclusive sniper, man, that Borealis.
It looks sick.
I want it so bad. Like, and you know, granted, the exotic perk isn't that, well, one of them isn't that great on it. That just changes the elements, but I mean, I think that's cool.
Well,
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
My question becomes, just on that sniper, the way elements work in D2, who cares?
Yeah, I think I'm getting a little tinfoil hat here. I think you're going to be able to get it through that exclusive strike, and the boss of that strike is going to have a rotating shield.
But elemental weapons do extra damage to shields whether they match or not.
True, whether they match or not. But yeah, I'm just saying, but like, you know, you get the whole the AoE thing when you match.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I mean, it's not like that. It's not really like a big AoE thing. It's just a little satisfying, and it's a cool noise, and I want to hear it all the time.
Two quick questions that you made me think of. First time you sit down, you do the story. Do you plan on doing it alone? And Wilson, I would count Sam since I'm or are you going to do it with a full fire team?
If I do it with a full fire team, because that would be fun, but I would make a pact with them. When there is a cinematic, you cannot talk.
Yeah.
You can't talk unless it's like, oh, or, you know, just moanings. Then you can. Then
Craigasms. Craigasms. Oh, that's what like the Astros come in handy. You got that mix amp. So I can be like, boom, switch it over to just game volume coming through. And that's really fancy. Or like, you have to go in and make a pact and be like, cutscene. That's
probably what I gotta do.
Well, that's why I'll be in charge and I'll boot everybody.
Or that. They're in the middle of their cutscene and they get kicked.
I think if like, because I know
talking in the movie theater.
Yeah, right. Don't get no cell phones, no nothing.
Hove will eject you from your seat.
It's a true story. He's done it. I know that my boys Conman and Gray are probably gonna want to do it as a fire team of 3, but like I said, it was just really cool going in with Sam day one. We were experiencing it. At that point, she was just as much into the game as any of us were, you know what I mean? And it was a lot of fun. I mean, we might get a third in there. We might see if I see Hove floating around in orbit by himself, we might shoot him an invite.
Just floating through.
Be the third wheel, Hove.
Sam's the third wheel, you have to understand.
Oh, okay.
Whatever. I'm the third wheel. You and Sam argue more than me and her ever do.
But she told me I have video evidence of her saying that's your Wilson, and I said, I know, Sam, it's my Wilson. I hope she's still in chat. But no, anything else? Because like I said, we answered one of the questions in Twitter, Lego. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, no. We'll finish this up and then go over the TWAB.
Okay. Most of them originally we were gonna have Mesa Sean on, so a lot of the questions were directed towards Mesa, but there were some general ones I wanted to touch on that were interesting. And the first one was from Robert Ike. Wilson, I kind of answered. Do you think Bungie will implement comparing same weapon types between kinetic and elementals in D2?
I think they will. I don't know if they'll do it right away. It might be one of those quality of life things that they add later. Like they're like, oh yeah, that would be nice.
I just feel like it's so obvious. Like you have 2 hand cannons. Do I want to use this hand cannon or this hand cannon?
A lot of things feel obvious that we don't, that they don't think of. Like they seem obvious to us later. So
it seems obvious to me right away.
I still have no idea. Like I said, I didn't even think of that. I was like, that's a damn good question. I didn't even think of that. So
I thought about it, but I wasn't like, oh, why can't I compare these two? I was just like, I wonder how much this one is. And then I never thought about it any further than that. I didn't think about it.
I was trying to find an optimal loadout because I'm a scrub and I need the best guns.
Yeah.
Can confirm. You can look at me now. It's terrifying.
Do you know what the weirdest part is? I'm giving the camera the look. If I give you the look,
yeah, I know, but I'm really looking at my monitor, so you are giving me the look. It's piercing.
From my point of view, I just look like I just feel like I'm staring at a camera. And it's awkward. From Bleached, my milk is 2 days past the expiration date, but it still smells fine. Should I still use it for my cereal?
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes.
Always.
Don't.
And I'm not. Only if it still smells. Hear me out. If it even slightly smells funky or bad, yes, be done with it. But if it just smells like straight up milk, it's straight up milk, man. You got the good stuff. You got the good batch.
Listen, those places they have to cover their own butts. So that date is going to be like before it's really going to happen. Plus they want to make more money, so you have to buy more. So if it's a day or two, you're fine.
So in my defense for don't do it, I'll just quote Ron Burgundy: "Milk was a bad choice." That's what you're gonna be thinking after you drink it. I'm just saying.
I've done it all the time because I'm too lazy to go to the gas station and get more.
Lego, you killed a man with a trident.
I gotta have my Raisin Bran.
Triton, you killed a man with a trident. Triton, we miss you. Come back to us.
No, we don't.
I miss you.
Darth Loki asks, do we know if Grimoire Score will be making a return in D2?
I'm pretty sure he said no Grimoire. Like Grimoire is not.
Yeah, they said Grimoire wasn't going to be in game. Like the. So I guess that would be the score.
I'm going to assume. Really? Yeah, I'm going to assume there'll be no score.
There could be like collectible. Like, did you find all the hidden audio tapes or whatever? We don't know.
Did you guys ever play The Division?
A little bit.
I did not.
Do you guys remember like there was those areas you could find with those echoes with like the holograms and shit? It'd be cool to find a ghost, and if it did that. Something similar.
Cool.
Oh, that's interesting. That sounds really similar to. I know Claw will know what I'm talking about, but everyone else probably won't. There was a PSN free game called Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, where it was like a bunch of echoes, like replaying scenes and stuff. Was that kind of like what it was like?
Kind of.
You had to piece together what happened to. Like there was a girl that went missing or something, and as you went throughout, there were like echoes of like. It was like what blue, just kind of blue. Hued outlines.
It's like in Prometheus when they all the holograms go by. Yeah.
Kinda.
I just want to throw in Prometheus into the conversation.
Yeah, I would say love Prometheus. I would say no, that the Grimoire Score will not be there. I think there will be another way of showing what you have achieved, whether that be through emblems or shaders or things in clan progression. I don't really know what that's all about because there was like that whole clan season 1 and then your clan had a level.
There's so much we don't know. Like we talk about, and it's funny because we talk about how much they've given away or how much they've shown us. And yeah, of certain things they've shown us, 4 maps out of 10. But like in the grand scheme of the things that are going to happen in this game, we're like Jon Snow. We know nothing.
You know nothing.
Yeah. We don't. You
know nothing, Wilson.
You too, Hove.
Told you, I don't know shit. I have no idea.
I'm gonna ban Lego in chat.
Oh my gosh! Do you have anything else for us here, Hove, or should we move on?
No, pretty much everything else was directed towards Mesa. Unless anyone has anything in chat, I think we're pretty much done with that. Then, like I said, we did get some questions, but everything was geared towards Mesa.
We'll jump back into the chat as we go along the TWAB too. The big thing with the TWAB is talking about that PC beta.
Ooh, we do have one.
Okay.
To all, Rezo Maverick asks, what was one moment in D1 that you experienced the most joy, be it helping others or completing a personal achievement?
Oh my gosh.
Every time we've had to answer a question like this, I've forgotten the thing that was actually the greatest thing that's happened to me in Destiny 1.
Okay.
So there was this time that, if anyone knows Fatebringer.
Yes. This is one of my favorites too.
It was the best thing that's ever happened.
So good.
We were doing Trials Helps, and we had done a raffle in my chat, I believe, and we had a kid win, and he was 12, I think. He was a young kid. And it was fairly late, and his mom, we could hear his mom yelling at him that it was time for him to go to bed. And he kept, one more game, you're a kid, that's what you do. It's always 5 more minutes. So finally, Fatebringer goes, put your mom on. Let me talk to her. And we're like laughing, and we weren't giving the kid a hard time, but so finally he's like, hold on, Mom, he wants to talk to you. So she goes, hello, and Fatebringer gets this was the most serious, it was great. He goes, hello, ma'am. My name is Tyler. Or no, he didn't say Tyler. He said Fatebringer. He said, hello, my name is Fatebringer. And what we're doing here today with your son is we're trying to help him through the trials of Osiris. And we just have a couple more games here to take him flawless to the lighthouse, which means that we've won all our games. And he gets some special things from the game. So I'd just like to ask you if your son could stay on for just 10 or 15 more minutes. And she kind of chuckled and was like, fine, 10 more minutes. And... except the kid lied to us and told us he bought his boons. We had one more game, except he didn't. So we had 3 more games. So then his mom was still yelling at him. But it was we clipped it. It was a 2-minute clip, and it was just the funny,
it's the best.
Nobody thought that this kid was going to put his mom on to talk to Fatebringer.
Tater said it the best. The mom whisperer.
The mom whisperer.
He is. Yeah. He said it sounded like a business sales call you get.
It was amazing.
Yes, but I'm surprised the mom wasn't in response how much are you charging for this? Because it really seemed like a sales call.
I felt like he was trying to sell me
play games with my son late at night. I was expecting the FBI to knock Fate off of Trials later that night.
My God. How old are you? Why are you playing games with my son?
And I mean, there was obviously no malicious intent. We were trying to help the kid. He'd never been flawless.
It was so funny.
It was so fun. Well, of course, then it turned into I'm going to take your mom flawless next, and your mom sounds hot. And
then remember, I kept saying, I was like, my mom would remember to boon up. Because I was like, yo, when you taking my mom flawless, dude? She says she's ready, man. She's hungry.
She's got her boons.
She's hungry. My mom would never forget to boon up, man.
It was the best thing that's ever happened. And this went on, we just laughed. We did get him flawless. That was my favorite moment, I think.
Man, it's hard for me, the most joy. I feel like it's been some, involved in the Trials game of playing, either Hove, me and Wilson, or Triton or Marcus, one of us playing and going flawless together. I don't know. It's tough because my first time going through Trials flawless was a lot of joy personally, and then even my first time taking, I think it probably is my first time going flawless with all my old college roommates. We got together, it was, I guess Taken King or something like that, maybe before that. And we all brought our PlayStations to one guy's house and had all our monitors set up and we were trying to carry each other and stuff like that. And just seeing the plays each other made right there in the room with them. And finally making it flawless with your friends that you see all the time. It's oh man, that is.
You did a LAN party. You guys were in the same place.
Oh yeah, we were all in the same place.
Man. So you could literally high five.
Yes,
and, all the energy from you guys under one roof.
They hugged a lot.
Exactly.
I would have with my shirt off. I wouldn't care.
We're jumping up off the couch, it was great. Yeah,
that's awesome. Complete for me, there's so many, and I want to give a really cheesy answer. Obviously, any of the first time completing any of their raids blind, first time going flawless, that's the easy pick. I guess I'm gonna give the cheesy answer first and just say that Destiny 1 as a whole, man, you kind of said it, Lego, just getting on with friends, hanging out, sometimes just being with them made the game more fun. Mm-hmm. If it was the same mundane strike and shit that you do. I mean, I've met these people in real life. I have their phone numbers. We hang out. I consider them very close friends, and people want to refer to, video game friends and IRL friends. I mean, this is real life. These are real people that you're establishing connections with. Destiny 1 as a whole has completely changed the way that I play video games.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Yeah, same.
And that's my cheesy answer.
That's
is
super
all of
cheesy.
Destiny
Yeah,
1.
you're cheesy.
To actually answer the question, I'd have to say the first time I went flawless with Sam, where
that's cool.
Me, her, and Director, my friend, on Black Shield, and I had taken her character flawless like once or twice before, like where I played as her character, but she made the clutch play on the flawless game, and we went to the lighthouse because of it. And
awesome.
She, I don't want to like that, not that she didn't earn the other loot, but like she felt a sense of accomplishment, and it was a really hard task, and that map sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys both mentioned first time going flawless. I mean, yours was with Sam. I don't remember. I LFG'd so much before, just up until I got into Resolute. I couldn't tell you the first time I went flawless. I don't know who it was with. It's probably people I never played with again. So that wasn't, surprisingly, for how much I love Trials and play it, that wasn't something that really stuck out to me. I couldn't.
It's not really it's not surprising to me that you don't remember your first time, Hove.
It does surprise me.
Oh, it does?
First, Hove.
I feel like neither of you are talking about Trials anymore, and it's making me uncomfortable. No, but two of my favorite Trials moments, in all honesty, it might have been the first time each of these fire teams played together, but I know Wilson, the first time me, you, and Marcus played together on Last Exit. And it was like, hey, let's just play a card and have some fun. And we won like 12 straight games, like not giving a shit, and just had a blast. And I think the first time the three of us played together, we did the same thing. Aww. We went way past flawless, and like no one was trying, no one needed it, but we just had a great time.
One of my favorite like Trials moments, since we're talking about just specifically Trials right now, wasn't even a play that I made. I was playing with you guys on Twilight Gap, and well, shout out here. I was actually put in Lego's recent montage, which I don't know if you guys have checked that out. Sorry if that was something.
No, it's not. It's
plug
not.
later, but like you guys should definitely go check out the. I'm sorry, what was the name of this?
It's called Blood Pressure. Yeah, I just put out a little thing of like everything that I've done like in Destiny 1 that was like those big moments like that. I was like, I just kind of want to put something together, all those moments, because they're so fun, and I was laughing through like every one of those clips. So.
Yeah, Lego's going for his third movie of the week.
Get in there, upvote it. No, but it was that last clip that you had in there where we went up against that team. We're like, oh my god, this guy has a 2.8, this guy has a 3.2, this guy has a 3.8 or 5.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, we all just kind of sighed, and we're like, you know what, like forget it, like let's just have fun. Both you guys were streaming at the time, and that last round, so many crazy good plays happened by all
so many lucky plays too,
that if each one of us had not pulled off a clutch play, that end clip of you punching the shit out of everyone would not have happened. Like it's hard to explain what have happened, but there was a domino effect of things that had to happen perfectly for us to win that round, and it couldn't have gone any better. And just the energy after that game. I mean, you were standing up in your seat,
you like threw his controller.
Yeah, it was.
Did we just do that?
The classic. Did we just do that? Like, I love it. Go check out that montage. It's sick. I'm getting my ass kicked in it.
Somebody put it in chat. Somebody find Lego's montage and link it in chat, please.
Watching that clip all the way through, like not just the parts I put in the video, but everything that happened beforehand, that domino effect that Wilson's talking about, dude. I died in that round earlier, and Wilson and Hove were carrying it, and then one of them revived me, and they died, and like
Wilson
and when
had
I'm
a
running
1v3.
Yeah, Wilson did one, and while I'm like running after Hove's dead body. Like they three guys all throw grenades at me, and I've got like just a sliver of health as I make it to their body, and they're all like, well, we got cap point, we're just gonna sit here. I'm like, okay, Hove, let's go. And you were like, wait, what?
You're like, oh, you got cap point, wrong move. And like by the time like the team shots with your melees, like it was so good. It was awesome. That was a fun night. Like that's really what it's all about, man. Like just the plays and the energy, and like it sounds cheesy, but like it brings people closer, man.
I agree.
That was an experience that I'll remember for as long as I've been playing Destiny.
Thank you, Sam. In chat, Everybody in chat, if you're
Sam.
in chat today and not an audio listener later. Maybe Lego will even link his own montage if you're listening on YouTube later. But it's in chat right now. You should go watch it. It's awesome.
Yes, it was very, very fun.
It's hot.
Thank you for that shout out, Wilson. I appreciate that. Well, I think it's time to talk about the TWAB that did not have a movie of the week Lego mentioned in it. But they did have a lot of PC beta hype, which was really awesome. Some of it is hype and some of it is, I want to get Hove's and Wilson's feelings on because, I'm not going to be playing it on PC, but there's a lot of stuff that's really important to streamers in here. And I want to get y'all's opinions on it. First up though, new control map called Javelin 4. So I don't know. We've seen so many maps. I'm kind of mapped out. I'm like,
as far as new map, you're talking. This is just what's coming with the PC beta, right?
Yes. Okay. And so they said before, or we've seen before, that there's gonna be 10 new maps, and we've seen, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them already. In 2 of them just in footage from IGN, and 2 of them we played. So this makes 5. So by the time this beta is done, we'll have seen half of the maps that are coming with D2, which is kind of crazy.
One we already know like the back of our hand.
Yeah,
well, technically 2 if you played a lot of Countdown,
which I did.
Yeah, I did as well. I mean, it sounds cool. Javelins are cool. I don't know. It sounds dope. Just have to wait and see.
Javelins are cool.
The spear, not the missiles. Missiles aren't cool.
But, I mean, in theory, the idea of a missile is pretty cool.
I mean, blowing stuff up is cool. Yeah.
Javelin in Modern Warfare 2 is awesome. I don't know what you're talking about.
That glitch though, that was so bad when people... Anyway, we're getting off track.
Yeah. Destiny.
Javelins.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on seeing all these maps? Are you like, yeah, it's cool, whatever?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. I mean, a couple of them we've just seen them. Right? Vostok, we haven't played it. We've seen it.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know anything
about
it. So really, this is only going to be 3 that we really have had any experience with.
That's true. Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Even if they, I think it might even be cool to just give us all the names and a screenshot of all 10 of them before the game comes out. Just go, oh, check that one. I wonder what that is, and what's this, and what's that. As long as you're not playing it, this is going to be 3. I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue.
What was the one that you said the name of? Vostok.
Vostok.
Sounds Russian, so like Earth map.
It was. It's the Iron Temple.
Iron Temple. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. I was surprised how much they were. I don't think we really talked about that map much, but I was surprised how much they were able to incorporate that we've already seen from the Iron Temple area. Like you immediately recognize it from the lift and that area that you play in the mission getting to the Iron Temple. Like it looks exactly the same. And I was like, how did they, I'm sure there's things that are different, but it was really impressive how they were able to keep so much of that. Yeah.
I thought that little nod to one of the old social spaces was really cool. And the fact that it was unaffected by the Cabal.
I have a question. I forgot to bring this up earlier, but it kind of fits into the whole social space thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So tower's blown up or whatever, right? And we have to go to the farm. Why did we have to find this farm? Why couldn't we have gone to the Iron Temple or the Reef?
I think that plays into the story. I think we'll find out in the story. I think it has something to do with that shard of the Traveler being there, and that's how it's corrupted, and we have to uncorrupt it to get some form of light because that chunk isn't shielded behind the Cabal chastity belt, as Tefty called it.
That's good.
That is good.
It is, man. That's a total chastity belt if I've ever seen one.
Let's pick that shit up and take it to the Iron Temple.
I don't really think it needs to really go anywhere. I think we just needed to get close. I think we'll find out why in the story.
We better.
Yeah, I hope we do. I hope
that's how I feel.
Hope it's just not old MacDonald had a farm and this is where we're gonna set up.
E-I-E-I-O.
But I feel like that'll play into the story why we have to go there. And I feel like because it's so close to that shard of the Traveler, I don't feel like it's because it's a fancy backdrop. I feel like because in the tower we see the Traveler where we draw our source of light. So I think maybe that'll be something similar. We'll see that shard. Maybe it won't change.
Yeah.
As the story progresses, maybe I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think you're right. I think it's a
down with
story
that.
thing.
It
We'll
better
have to
be a
see.
story thing. Just like, how did we get these powers when we just rolled up to the? I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. We're not gonna go into that. Hope's gone into that enough.
5-hour energy drinks.
So the
Painkillers.
the other thing in the TWAB that was very, very big
Mm.
is talking about how communication apps and capture apps are going to
Oh
be
boy.
enabled during the beta.
At first, this sounded kind of, at first glance, this sounded a little bit worrisome to me, but when you really read into it, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And also, it's not just during the beta, right? They're just, I think it's all the time.
Yeah, they acted like it's all the time.
Okay, so basically what they're saying, exclusive to the PC build, there will be an issue that might change the way that you capture content and or talk to your teammates. And then they go into an article or a paragraph about their how they're going to counter cheating, and they don't want to tell everyone because that just makes it easier to find ways around it. But they talk about that, and then they say that some applications that people use when they play games try to add code to the game client. In the right hands, this can enable some nice features, blah, 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 blah. In the wrong hands, this can be destructive to the world we share in the game. To help ensure that every player will have a fair shot at fun and glory, we'll resist attempts for applications to add code to Destiny. Our game needs to be the foremost authority on your fate as a Guardian. Several types of programs can be affected. The two main categories are communications applications and capture/streaming applications. So like I said, right there, it sounds kind of worrisome. But I think did you read into it? Did you click the little help article they had there?
I just read basically I'm not smart enough to understand all the PC stuff people are talking about, so I just read what all the popular streamers were saying, and
I didn't see that.
My interpretation of all the gobbledygook was that, hey, you're fine if you run it a certain way.
Yes. Okay.
Especially if you run it, like if you have a 2 PC setup, then you're really golden.
Okay, well, good. I wanted to get my point of view out there first, because that way if you said what all the streamers said and then mine sounded dumb, I wouldn't have anything to say. But I think I'm with them. They're saying that OBS and XSplit are two things affected, which is what most people stream from their PCs using. But it says the game capture mode of applications such as OBS and XSplit are not supported. So when you set up a scene on OBS, you can do game capture, which will detect a game that you're playing and capture that and put it on your screen. So that way, as you're, maybe you minimize the game and do other stuff, it'll still only show the game to your stream.
Yeah.
That you can't do. But you can still do it hardware capture or just screen capture. You can just capture your screen.
Yeah, so they were talking about windowless.
Window capture or screen capture you can do. So you can just make it a specific window or capture what you're seeing on your screen, which then would let people see your desktop and everything, but maybe that doesn't matter. So that wasn't as big of a deal. The overlay thing I didn't really understand as much, so I'm not going to really talk about it.
So are y'all upset about any of this, or does this surprise you guys? How do y'all feel about it, that y'all two are going to be playing on PC specifically?
Wilson?
I don't think it's really going to be too big of a deal. It's just kind of got me wondering, like, why, like, some of the things, like, why, like, are they trying to minimize the amount of, like, third-party apps that you could have running on your PC that, like, maybe it just has to be, like, Windows Essential stuff, like, so that it's harder for people to, get these third-party cheat programs running in the background or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't affect me, you know what I mean? Hey, if it's helping keep cheaters out, you know what I mean, then that's fine with me. We'll work around it. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Streamers are so capable of adapting. It's not even funny. Like, it'll be fine. So be all right. Still gonna play the hell out of it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for those frames. Ultra settings.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I'd say I'm surprised by it, but just because I didn't know any better. I don't think it'll be a big deal. Like I said, the whole thing with overlays, voice communication, I will read that. It says, who's talking and visual notification features, such as those provided by Discord or Mumble, are not compatible with Destiny 2. Notification features may still be provided through the third-party application. So I don't really know what that means. So I'm not going to comment on that. But as far as the just streaming, I don't. Whatever. I'll figure it out.
Like you feel like it won't be that big of a deal to work around it for yourself?
No, I don't see why it would be.
Yeah. That's how I had mine set up anyway. It was not through game capture, but through screen capture. And Hove's like, you should do game capture.
And so now you're like, booyah.
Yeah, totally. And now Bungie's like, no, you can't do that. Hove was wrong.
Whoa. We were talking about PUBG here, Chief. All right? I taught you how to do it for PUBG. PUBG was like, yo, homie, go for it.
You call me Chief. I feel like Chief is like a passive-aggressive...
Yeah, it is. It is.
Sure thing, pal.
Not your pal, bud.
For those listening, Hope keeps getting closer to the screen as he tries to insult Wilson. And
I'm not insulting Wilson. I would never insult Wilson.
Just leaning in. He likes to be close. It's fine.
Well, is there anything else from the 12 that y'all want to get to? Because otherwise, I got some stuff I want to get to.
Ooh, I want to get to your stuff.
Let's just get to it. I'm excited now.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I just want to hear what you have to say, man.
Okay, well, we got some exciting news to share here at RezoCast. We've been thinking about this for a while. It's been, me, Hove, and Triton have been doing it for the last 45 episodes now, and we're coming up on episode 50, right when D2 launches, and we really, dude.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Look at chat again.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. What great timing, you guys. We have a great announcement that we're talking about right now. So first of all, DCP, Pope, you guys are ridiculous. Thank you so much for joining us. Everyone from DCP.
Welcome.
Breyer, Tefty, Watts,
Holtzman.
And
Tash. Tash was over there tonight too.
Tash. What a gentleman.
Gentleman and a scholar. But anyway, good timing because Lego was just sharing a big announcement we have. So welcome everybody.
So it's been me, Hove, and Triton doing this for a long time, and 45 episodes now. We're hitting episode 52 with D2 coming out, and we really feel like we wanted to add a new host to the show. And so starting next week, and from next week on, we will have the Manigator joining us as a full-time host of RezoCast, and we are so excited to have him here. Just every time he's on, just the PvP talk that he gives us, along with PvE, like he's all about the story too as well. And so it's great to have someone who is such a big streamer like join us and hang out with us and talk some D2 with us. So we're very excited to have him along for the ride. Hope, do you want to add anything to that?
No, just the same thing. Like Lego said, our 50th episode actually comes out the day after Destiny 2. So we wanted to try to get something in place for that. And, same thing. I can't disagree with anything Lego said. Mana's really been a lot of fun to have on. And I think he brings a little bit different voice and some fun to the podcast that maybe we didn't have before. So, yeah, starting next week, we really look forward to it. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think you will. If you don't know Mana, you'll get to know him. He's awesome.
He's a perfect fit for you guys. I think the synergy is really well between you guys, and it'll work out really great.
Yeah, it really helped we lived together for 5 days in Tampa for Guardian Con.
It did really help. It was awesome living with him at GC because Mana was just so chill and so easygoing, and it was like, man, this solidifies it. Like we've always talked about Mana coming on the show, and after he showed some interest, we were like, boom, done. Like let's do this thing. Yeah. Well, before we head off and everything, I want to hang out with this DCP crew for just a second because I wanted to ask you guys, we talked a little bit about what you guys are going to be doing before D2 before the beta drops for the PC. What are you doing in Destiny 1 right now? And in chat, I want to know from you guys, what are you guys going to be doing until the beta hits on PC? What are you guys going to be doing to fill your time, whether it's PUBG or in Destiny in particular? Are you guys going to be hitting Iron Banner at all this week? Are you guys going to be hitting Trials when it comes around for the last time? Not this weekend, but next weekend. I'm curious what y'all are going to be doing. I just wanted to reinstate that Rumble. Like, I think I'm going to be playing that a lot. I even jumped into Iron Banner a little bit this week, which was fun to play sixes. And Hove is just dying over here. Hove, what is going on?
Wendler just came back to chat and said, "Wait, what was the announcement? Did I miss it?"
He was the first one in chat going, "What's this big announcement?" And
oh my gosh, you'll see it on Twitter in a second, or Hove will tell you right now.
Mr. Aries told him.
Okay, but no, Hove, are you really? You're not going to touch Iron Banner? You're not going to touch Rumble or anything like that?
I might. I'm not going to do Iron Banner. I have no intention of playing Iron Banner. Like I said, not because I hate it or think everything's in such a bad place. I don't know. I just have other things that I want to play. I'll probably jump into some Rumble for old time's sake. Most likely, you'll talk me into it. I'll probably do a little of that just because it isn't going to be back. And I'd like to play with some of you guys. But I will no-life the hell out of the last weekend of Trials. I will wean myself off of PUBG for those Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days. 4 days? 4 days. And play lots of Trials. I'm hoping beyond all hope that they just throw every map in there and just have a full rotation of all the Trials maps. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I that would be awesome. Or do you think that maybe they're like, let's flip the Trials switch one last time and hope to God that shit just doesn't break? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that they're just excited to be like, this is the last time we got to flip the Iron Banner switch. This is the last time we got to do Trials. Let's just hope shit doesn't break and this game can hold it together just a little longer. But like, I'm with you. I'm gonna no-life the hell out of Trials. It would be cool to have the massive rotation and all, but what do you like? I hope, but man, I could see it just being something like Burning Shrine.
I could see that too. I think.
I don't know. I don't think that they will, because they've done Burning Shrine so much, and this is like a goodbye to all of these maps for good. Like, Trials isn't going to continue. Iron Banner isn't going to continue, and so it's like, why not give us the giant rotation, you know?
I mean, they did. You could look at it the same way, because Wilson and I had the same conversation, and I think maybe I just like to argue, because I think I was on the other side of it the last time. But, you know, they did Iron Banner this time, and it was just, hey, we've done Control so many times, but that's where we started. That was the original Iron Banner. Let's take it out the way it came in. Yeah. And I could still see both ways. I would really personally like to see them throw all the maps in, since they've done a Mars rotation, an Earth rotation, whatever, all the different rotations. But I could also see them going, hey, this is it. Let's go back to where it all started. It's going to be Burning Shrine. And actually, the more I see it, the more I see that tweet. Like, I can see that tweet in my head. We're taking you back to where it all started. Trials goes out on Burning Shrine. Like, I can see that.
Yeah, I know.
If it does, it'll still be awesome. I'll still play the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Like, but once Trials is gone, like I said, I'll still try to get that God Roll LDR, because it's the last God Roll sniper that I need. And it's really, really getting to me that I don't have one with Hidden Hand Quick Draw.
Yeah. But we got a few answers from chat, things they're going to be doing. Drewski says he's going to be playing Rumble and Challenge of Elders, which I support the Rumble. Challenge of Elders is interesting. It is a very unique thing. You know what I love about that I'm going to miss is the rotating around your character camera shot when you first load in. It's always like the coolest way to check out all your armor, because you look awesome just throwing back your gun and the camera just rotates around you. I was thinking about if we ever did another like clan montage, I want one where each one of us grabs a clip of us loading in there and use that clip for each character.
Good
like
luck.
That'd be sick. Yeah, good luck. There's a lot of Warframe in chat from Matt GS, and Valdo says he's enjoying Salvage, which Salvage is legit awesome since they made the changes. So if that's going on this week, I might be jumping in there too.
Valdo said Spooky Trials on First Light. Anyone?
Spooky Trials, please. I love it so much. And I know so many people hate it, but it's so much fun. I don't think they're going to do it because they specifically said, well, you know, this is going to be a holiday thing. Like, I don't think it'll happen till Halloween again. But, I love it. I'd be okay
with it. I mean, like, I'm going to get stuck with grenades, whether it's Spooky Trials or not. So,
you know where you won't get stuck with grenades that we're going to do? Now I'm all excited about playing D1 again.
Yes.
Weird. We are definitely going back in and doing No Land Fusion private match rumbles.
Yes, private matches.
But if you come anywhere near close to killing me while I have special, I'm going to stick you with a grenade.
Oh my gosh, that's sounds fair. It sounds fair.
I don't even
honestly.
know what to say. I'm just gonna stare at you.
I mean, you guys got what is it? Replenish on all your damn fusions?
I don't use it.
I
don't use it. It's just this cheater with the glasses.
Use whatever. Don't apologize.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're not wrong.
That's exactly what that means.
No, it just means you don't have to apologize.
It's true.
We've got a lot of people saying Fortnite in chat too.
Yeah, Wilson plays some Fortnite.
Yeah, it's good. It's got that. It's so many different games in one. Like, don't ask me to explain it. Like, it's terribly hard to explain. Like, if you like looter shooters and RPGs and crafting stuff, it's the game for you. It's awesome.
Well, there is one other thing, Wilson. One other thing that I understand that you'll be doing between now and Destiny 2 and into the future. Something you'll be doing Sundays that you've started doing recently.
Yeah, I'm a part of another podcast. It's called Revolver Live.
How do you say that?
Revolver. It's gonna be broadcasted from Briar's channel every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, I think is what time it goes live.
I
it's
know
me,
that, and I'm not on it.
It's myself, Briar, Gary Diaz, and the Beastly Gamer, and it's not
all
just
awesome dudes.
Yeah, it's not just gaming related. It's just pretty much nerd culture podcast. It's great. You guys should come by, check it out. It's awesome. Usually crack a few dick jokes here and there, something. Chat.
A few?
Yeah, a few. We're trying to get chat involved as much as we can. You know what I mean? People stop by and have interactions, and it's great. So
nice, cool. Yeah, be for sure. Check that out, guys. Everybody listening.
Yeah,
all friends, iTunes,
all friends of this podcast. We support them fully. Love those guys.
Absolutely. Well, I think that might be it for this episode. We really appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out with us from DCP. We really enjoyed hanging with you guys. And Wilson, thank you so much for jumping in with us. We know Mesa had to jet last second, so we really appreciate you coming on, talking some D2 beta with us.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said, you guys are awesome. You guys are really good friends. So I mean, it's just like hanging out. So
it really is just like hanging out, man. It's so funny.
It's really no different than in between rounds of trials, what we're talking about. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And so next week, we really look forward to having the Manigator on with us all the time. We'll put out a tweet about it. Mm-hmm. And for now, this has been Lego, aka Legoli Flash. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Go check out that sweet YouTube video I just put out.
His montage is awesome.
It was a ton of fun just having Wilson yell all these lines all the time. I love it. Wilson, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Ryu Wilson. That's RYU Wilson. Started streaming again recently, so definitely drop me a follow. Definitely drop me a follow on Twitch, Wilson309. Same thing, YouTube. Not really doing much with YouTube, but maybe when Destiny 2 comes out, that'll change. But just search Wilson309 and Ryu Wilson on Twitter.
Nice. Hove?
All those same places. You're here, twitch.tv/Hove76 if you're listening live. Otherwise, Twitter and YouTube, same thing. Is there anywhere else? Do I do anything else? No, just those three. Hove76 everywhere.
Nice. And where can they find more about Resolute?
I still don't know, man. Apparently teamresolute.com is going to be a thing real soon. I keep saying that every week. I swear to God it's coming. Teamresolute.com.
It's coming.
Also on Twitter, at teamresolute.
Yeah, you can also find RezoCast at RezoCast on Twitter. We'd love to hang out and talk with you guys about Destiny and send you over to that Revolver podcast because it is awesome as well. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, you guys. Looking forward to next week with the Manigator. And until next